Hello everyone, welcome to this Beast Mastery Hunter guide for Mythic Plus. In this guide we're gonna talk about legendaries, covenants, soulbinds, we're gonna talk about stats. We're also gonna talk about the new tier set and how it has changed due to the latest hotfix. And at the end of the video I'm gonna talk about a quick macro and a weak aura that can help you improve your DPS, and also some little tips and tricks. So if this is something that you like, then consider leaving a like and or subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a ton. In 9.2 we finally have the tier sets back. And the tier set for Beast Mastery Hunter was very specific. It was completely focused on single target damage. And as you can see on the screen, the 2 and the 4-piece set. The 2-piece, your kill command critical strike chance is increased by 15% for each stack of frenzy that you have. So it stacks up to 45%, or 3 stacks equals 45%. So your kill command will actually get 45% increased crit chance. And that is pretty high, because you will be critting a lot with your kill command then, which is very nice. But this is single target. And the 4-piece, your kill command critical hits empower your next Cobra shot to increase the damage and cooldown reduction of Cobra shot by 40%. That was how it was. And luckily they changed that up a bit, because that one was also focused entirely on single target. Your Cobra shot is a single target ability, and it will hit like a truck, but it will still hit only one single target. And now, in the patch notes of March 7th, I think, they changed it around a bit. And what they said is your multi-shot as well, so your Cobra shot and multi-shot get empowered. You can choose one of the two. And when you use an empowered multi-shot, you will grant another 6 seconds of beast cleave. And I assume, I don't know how it's gonna work. I have not tested it, or I can't test it, and I don't have the 4-piece yet. But what will happen is you will have to use a lot less multi-shots, giving you your beast cleave to keep on rolling. And if you are a new player and you will drop beast cleave quite a lot, then this will actually improve your AoE DPS. If you are an experienced player in BM and you never really let your beast cleave drop, then it's still going to be a more single target focused ability, but it will help you make your rotation smoother. You don't have to think about multi-shot a lot, so you can use more kill commands, more barbed shots, more Cobra shots, and still funnel your damage in one target, but it will help you out. For stats, you want to go with agility first. This means higher item level usually gains more agility, means more DPS. But this does not go for the rings and the necklace. Those pieces don't have agility, and so there you want the secondary stat to be the highest one, which you're gonna aim for is crit, then haste, then versatility, and lastly mastery. Always consider simming your gear, that way it will help you out and you will know which pieces are the best. But if you do not like to sim your gear, or you don't know how to sim your gear, then try and go for crit and then haste. But there is a thing called diminishing returns, and your crit at 40%, haste at 30%, versatility 30%, and your mastery 1050 points. If you have too much of those, then it will get less valuable. So if you are crossing a threshold on your crit, for example, which is over 40%, then consider swapping out some pieces in a way that you will get a little less crit and maybe more versatility. So you don't have too much diminishing returns and your gear gives you the optimal benefit. In 9.2 they have not changed that much with the talent setup, but there is some interaction with our tier set, and so we're going to talk about all the talents right now. In the first row, you want to go with Animal Companion. This will give you a second pet, and that second pet will also use Kill Command. And as our tier set states that we have higher chance on critting with Kill Command, if you have 2 pets that actually crit on Kill Command, then that is amazing. Dire Beast, don't take it, it's just not good enough. And Killer Instinct, maybe on progression rating. Kill Command deals 50% increased damage against enemies below 35% health. So maybe if you are progress rating, it could be good. I don't actually know. I would say the sim says just go for Animal Companion. This is the highest DPS increase. On the next row, you want to go with Scent of Blood. Activating Bestial Red grants 2 charges of Barbed Shot. And why is this important? The 2-piece of our tier set will give us a higher critical strike on our kill command, right? We all know that. And this is with every stack of frenzy. And barbed shot gives frenzy. So if you have at the start of a pool, you have 2 barbed shot. You will use them. That way you will have 2 charges of barbed shot equals 30% increased crit chance on your kill command. Then if you then bestial wrath and you have scent of blood talented, then you will gain 2 additional barbed shots. So you will use your 3rd barbed shot in a row, or I'll talk about it in the rotation, but you will use your 3rd barbed shot, and that way you will be at 45% increased critical strike chance on your kill command. This is amazing, so this one is the one to go in this row. One with the pack, Wild Call has a 20% increased chance to reset the cooldown of barbed shot. It's okay, but not good enough, and Chimera shot is just not worth it. On the next row, there is a Trailblazer, which increases your movement speed if you're not attacked, so in combat you don't have any use for it. Natural Mending and Camouflage. Camouflage, if you go for this one, it is actually a DPS increase, because you can use your pots very aggressively, because you don't need to have an invis spot ready to skip certain packs in Mythic Plus. So it is a minor DPS increase. But if you are a cheapskate like me and you don't actually use offensive pots, then I won't say go for Camouflage and just go for your Potion of the Hidden Spirits to do a skip and use Natural Mending instead. This will give you more uptime on your exhilaration, your self-heal. We as hunters are very squishy and healers always have trouble keeping us up. And this way you can actually help your healer get you up. So go for this one. If by now you're still watching this video and you like the content that I make, then consider leaving a like and or subscribing to the channel. If you have any feedback for me, please let me know in the comments. I want to grow my channel, but I will need you guys, your help to do so. Also, I try to stream once a week. And if you want to see that, then click the notification thingy, so that way you get notified when I go live. Alright, but going further. The next one. Spitting Cobra, Thrill of the Hunt, and Murder of Crows. Murder of Crows and Spitting Cobra are just worthless. They don't do enough damage. They're cool. I wanted Spitting Cobra to work, but it's just not working. So you go for Thrill of the Hunt. Barbed Shot increases your critical strike chance by 3% for 8 seconds, stacking up 3 times. So wait, we already want a lot of critical strike chance, because if we have a higher critical strike chance, our kill command will crit more, and that way we get empowered multi-shots and empowered Cobra shots with our 4-piece. So this will give us effectively 9% increased crit chance. If the mod is done right, if you are not Kyrian, and just if you go for 46% crit, then you go Trail of the Hunt, which will give you 9% crit, and then you will have 3 stacks of Frenzy, then you will be 100% crit capped on your kill command, which means that always your kill command will crit. I won't say don't go for that, go a little lower on your crit, but it is actually one way to deal incredible amounts of damage, single target. Alright, going on to the next row. This one is more of a utility row, and I play Mythic Plus only, so I will always go for Binding Shot. Help your tank guy, Binding Shot the mobs, make him sure he can kite so he can cry in a corner, wait till he survives. Just do this. If you are raiding, I think you will want to go Post Haste. Disengage also frees you from all movement impairing effects, increases your movement speed by 50% for 4 seconds. This will help you dodge mechanics a lot. And maybe go for Born to be Wild, reduce the cooldown of Aspect of the Cheetah and Aspect of the Turtle by 20%. This could be good if your raid leader asks of you to soak a lot of mechanics, so you want your turtle back up quicker. Is a way to go. On the 45 row, there are 3 abilities. Stampede, amazing, doesn't deal any damage, so the idea is amazing, it just doesn't work. Barrage, same thing. It costs a shit ton of focus, it costs 60 focus, and you can use it every 20 seconds, but it just simply does not deal a lot of damage. So also this is not great. Then lastly, stomp. When you cast barbed shot, your pet stomps the ground, dealing 1.3 physical damage to 1.3k physical damage to all nearby enemies. Those numbers change, of course, depending on your gear. But when you cast barbed shot, your pet stomps the ground. This will deal a lot of AoE damage. And because we are using Scent of Blood, which gives us more barbed shot, you will have your pet stomp a lot more. Will help you dealing a lot more single or AoE damage. So stomp is the way to go. Now, in AoE scenarios, even with your tier set, I think you will go for Aspect of the Beast. Aspect of the Beast will just increase the damage and healing of your pet's abilities by 30%, which is very good. But if you have the 4-piece, especially in single target, while Bestial, you want to go with Killer Cobra. Because while Bestial Rat is active, Cobra Shot resets the cooldown on kill command. So think about it like this. You will do a kill command, which crits, because you have a shit ton of crit. So you have a crit and kill command, which empowers your Cobra Shot. Then will you use Cobra Shot. That way it hits more. Then you will get your kill command reset, so you will use that one. If you're lucky, it will crit again, so your next Cobra Shot will crit or hit a lot harder. And this one is like a very simple cycle of Cobra Shot, kill command, Cobra Shot, kill command, and it is very simple, but it hits like a truck if you have the 4-piece. So this one you will want, especially in raiding, but I think in Mythic Plus, you might want to go with this one in boss weeks, because you are a lot of time you are just stuck in single target, and there you want to use this one. But until you have the 4-piece, don't touch this one. Just go with Aspect of the Beast. So that is the talent setup as I think you should play it in 9.2. In 9.2, we will finally get 2 legendary item pieces, one Covenant specific and one other. And first off, we're going to talk about the other one. The Covenant specific one we'll talk about later. So which legendary item piece do you want? Well, the one that you're going to go for is Rhyolite Stalker's Piercing Fangs. This one will do, while Bestial Rat is active, your pet's critical damage dealt is increased by 35%. So your pet's critical damage is dealt is increased by 35%. And so if you crit, then the damage that it will deal in that crit is increased. Yeah, very simple. But now think about the tier sets that you have, and you have a lot more crit and kill commands. And your kill command is an ability done by your pet. So it is amazing, this one. And if you have a lot of crit and kill commands, which damage will deal higher, this one is the way to go. Sadly, this one is the only way to go. There are a lot of other nice legendaries which just simply are not that good enough. But if it's something that you like to play, then by all means play it. Unless you are trying to get world first or be like the best player in the world, then you need to go for this one. Otherwise, just play whatever you want. For example, Flamewalker's Cobra String, Cobra Shot has a 50% chance to make your next kill command consume no focus. If you think about the cycle of kill command, Cobra Shot, kill command, Cobra Shot, which you will do if you have this talented, your Killer Cobra talented, that way you will run out of focus pretty quickly. This one might work. You will be able to do that a lot more often without focus starving yourself so much. So yeah, that's the one to go. Or maybe you want a Kapla's Eredum War Order. Barbed Shot deals 10% increased damage, and applying Barbed Shot now also resets the cooldown of kill command. That way, you will be able to do a Barbed Shot kill command, Barbed Shot kill command. It's also something that you can do. So there are a lot of legendaries, but if you want to be the best, or you want the best legendary for you, then you will go with Rhyolite Stalker's Piercing Fangs. Now onto the Covenant. The Covenant sadly leaves us not much choice. You can either go Ventir or Night Fae, and if you have the 2-piece, then Night Fae will just outshine Ventir by not a lot, but by quite a bit. So you will go for Night Fae. And for Night Fae, you want to go with Dreamweaver if you want to go for single target. It has 3 potency conduits, 1 spirit attunement, this is a must. Then a bloodletting. This one you can change out. Barbed shot recharge time is reduced by 1 second, and its damage is increased by a certain percent, depending on how high your conduit is. And lastly, you want one with the beast. Bestial Wrath increases all damage you and your pet deal by an additional certain percent, also depending on the level of your potency conduit. When you have the 4-piece, you will want to swap out Bloodletting and you will want to go with Ferocious Appetite. Kill command, critical hits reduce the cooldown of Aspect of the Wild by 2.7 seconds in my case. So think about this. My kill command will crit a lot. We know that because we have the 2 set at least, right? So we have a lot of crit and kill commands. That way, a lot of crit and kill commands will reduce our Aspect of the Wild by a lot, which will then reduce our Aspect of the Wild. It is nice. Now, our Aspect of the Wild is not the biggest buff, it's not the strongest, but it's still nice to have up and about. So you want to go for Dreamweaver, more in single target, because you will get the Field of Blossoms. Wild Spirit puts flowers at your feet for 24 seconds that increase your haste by 15% while you stand in them. So when you have your burst window, especially in single target, then you will have increased haste as well, which is pretty nice. For AoE, you can still go with Dreamweaver if you want. But for AoE, you want to go maybe for Corrin. Corrin will give you more damage the higher health the target is. So if you do an AoE pull, then at the start of the pull, at the start of the burst, you will gain a lot of extra damage. For example, here with First Strike, damaging an enemy before they damage you increases your chance to critical strike by 25% for 5 seconds, which is pretty nice. And this one, the Wild Hunt Stratagem, the next time you damage an enemy who is below 35% health or heal an ally who is above 75% health, like it's not that we're going to heal really anyone, Wild Hunt Stratagem is activated to increase your damage and healing to such targets by 5% for 10 seconds. So this is pretty good because it hits multiple targets, so it's good in AoE. But I would highly suggest just go with Dreamweaver. This is at least, the Field of Blossoms is very powerful and I think it's pretty nice. So yeah, you can also swap to whatever covenant you want. The same with the legendaries. If you don't want to be the best of the best and you just want to enjoy the game, then by all means, play whatever you want. I personally think I'm going to play with Necrolord quite a bit because I just love the ability and the explosions that come from it. Because you will have your Bestial Wrath, which is nice. Your Rhylax. But you will also have, where is it? Let me grab it real quick. Bag of munitions. Up to 2 targets hit by the Dead Chakram are also hit by an explosive shell. So it has like this nice potential of a big burst at the pool. It will not be the best, but it's still fun to play. Ventir, also fun to play. Bonus kill shots from Flayed Shot cause 6 targets within 12 yards to bleed for 60% of the damage dealt by kill shot for 6 seconds. It's very nice. It's also an increase in your AoE. The legendary from Night Fae, on the other hand, when Wild Spirits hits fewer than 5 targets, there is a 100% chance to cause Wild Spirits damage a second time. So this one will actually funnel into our already more single target focused abilities. So we will be a beast in, raiding, because that is mostly single target, but also in boss weeks. If you go with Night Fae, then, Wild Spirits is still strong in AoE, but if the pools are smaller, for example in Theater of Pain or Mist of Tyrannosaurus Sight, or when it's just boss week and there's a lot of single targets, then this legendary will also deal a tremendous amount of damage. So I think it's going to be Night Fae for the rest of the expansion, but if you want to play whatever you like, then by all means you can still do a lot of keys even with different covenants. For rotation, you want to do the following. You want to start off with using your Aspect of the Wild and your Wild Spirits, and if you are a orc, for example, like me, then you will also want to cast your Blood Fury. You want to use those in combination maybe with a pot and a trinket in one go. So you want to open up with that. After that, you will want to do a multi-shot if it is AoE, or you want to do You don't want to do that if it's single target. Then you will, if you have done that, then you will pump up your 2 barb shots in 2 different targets. I'm going to talk about why you will do 2 different targets, but I'll talk about that later. You will do barb shot. Then when you're out of barb shots, you will use Bestial Wrath, and you will do that because then you will gain 2 charges of barb shot again. You will use 1 extra barb shot, never stacked on 2, so get 1 down, so it can slowly start rolling. And then you will do your kill command. You will do a cobra shot or 2 cobra shots into another kill command, depending on if it's single target. If it's AoE, then you will make sure that you will use a multi-shot, kill command, cobra shot, maybe multi-shot again, then kill command. I will slowly show you the rotation, and what you can do is in the down right corner here of my screen, you will see the buttons that I press, and so you will gain an idea on how the rotation works. Now what I said is you start off with Aspect of the Wild and Wild Spirits. This is something that I read on guides. I personally like the following. Open up with a multi-shot, because that way your pets are already going in. Right? If it's single target, open up with a kill command. Alright, so we opened up. Now we are doing Aspect of the Wild, Wild Spirits. Then we're gonna use Barbed Shot, Bestial Wrath, another Barbed Shot, kill command, multi-shot if it's AoE, Barbed Shot, 1 Cobra Shot, multi-shot, basically we need to keep up, kill command. As you can see, make sure that you keep that up, but don't make sure that you're also not stacking on two stacks, and keep your beast cleave up. And that's it. And if we have the 4-piece, this one will be 10 seconds probably instead of... There we have it. That one, the beast cleave will be 10 seconds. So we have to not even think about that as well. Alright, so we can stop attacking our little oozes. And that is the rotation, how it simply goes. You will use your Aspect of the Wild, Wild Spirits, and Blood Fury, Trinkets, everything in one. You will open. You will do a multi-shot to start beast cleaving in AoE. You will barb shot different targets. You will use your Bestial Wrath. And if in a situation where the enemy is under 20% health, your kill command will be your kill shot, sorry, will be very important. So you will use that on cooldown because it will be the hardest hitting ability that you have. So you will do that. And that is the rotation more or less. I'm gonna put it on the screen as well so you can also slowly read it. My cooldowns are almost back off, and then I will show you how to do it in a fast way. Guys, if this is something that you like, then consider leaving a like and or subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a ton, and any feedback is very much appreciated. So let's start up. We summon our pets, and now you can see how the rotation goes in here. What I do in M+ is I will use my misdirect on the tank, because that way you won't get all the focus on you. Multi-shot, and now we're gonna just go on this enemy. And what we do is we make sure that we have barb shots on all the targets, and we don't want to be stacked on barb shots. Try not to focus starve yourself too much. And try and keep beast cleave up as much as you can. And that is the rotation, guys. It's that simple. If you have, if your Bestial Wrath is off cooldown and you have maybe a charge of barb shot left, then consider, or not consider, use your remaining charges of barbed shot before using Bestial Wrath. Otherwise, you will just lose out on it. You can just throw them on different enemies, so the bleed starts rolling on different enemies. Then use Bestial Wrath, so you will gain 2 barb shots more, and you will be able to start using them on different targets as well. But that is the rotation. Now that we talked about rotation, I'm gonna finish this off with some quick tips and tricks. I'm gonna show you a weak aura that I'm using and a macro that I'm using to help you increase your damage in Mythic Plus. So, first off, and if you have watched other of my videos, then I've talked about this a lot, but I sometimes get questions and I also see people actually not doing it properly. So we're going to talk about barbed shot right now. If this is something that you already heard, by all means skip ahead. So barbed shot, and let's get it here. Fire a shot that tears through your enemy, causing them to bleed for a certain amount of damage over 8 seconds. Let's say that certain amount means 8,000. It is for a 8-second duration, so that means the dot will tick 8 times. Just the numbers are not correct, I know that, but it's just to get the point across. So you will do barbed shot, and in the 8 seconds that it's on the enemy, it will deal 1,000 damage per second. So if I'm gonna shoot this guy, I shoot the barbed shot, for the next 8 seconds, it will deal damage on that guy. And it will deal 1,000 damage per, say 1,000 damage per second. Yes? So if I reset the hit on that guy, so I do barbed shot onto one guy, and then after 2 seconds I will do it again. So it will not stack. So I do barbed shot, 2 seconds later I do barbed shot again. So the first 2 seconds I will do 2 ticks, 2,000 damage, and then do a second barbed shot, which will go for the full duration, so 8 seconds. That means a 10,000 damage in the 10-second window. All right? Now, what I do is I apply 2 barbed shots to 2 different targets, then both of the barbed shots will go their full duration, meaning it will deal 16,000 damage instead of 10. So what you should do always is use your barbed shots on different targets. Swap them around and the entire time. So, for example, I'm using barbed shot. I'm going to use barbed shot here. I'm going to use bestial wrath. I can't use bestial wrath because I don't have a pet active. So I will bestial wrath and I will do a barbed shot there. Now I will do a barbed shot there again because it fell off. And so this way I will keep my barbed shots running on all the different targets and it will deal the most amount of damage. So by all means, at all costs, make sure that you barbed shot different targets all the time. So that is the barbed shot section. I talked about it in my other guide videos. If it's not clear here, maybe go to one of the other ones and it might get clearer there. I don't know. I hope so. All right. But besides the point, there is a macro and a weak aura that I think that you can actually use to improve your DPS. Because kill shot, when an enemy comes below, what is the health percentage? Let's see, where is it actually? Oh, there it is. When the enemy is below 20% health, you can kill shot, dealing a tremendous amount of damage. Yes? So what you want to do is you want to know when the enemy is below that amount of HP. So now we're going to fly to a mob, and I'm going to show you the weak aura that I'm using. And I will also put the weak aura in the link below. For example, this guy, I'm going to shoot it, and it's going to be under 20% almost. And then you see these X's on the side. And now I can actually kill shot it. Because if we are in, for example, Necrotic Wake, and you do a massive pull here, then you have all those stacked health bars, and you don't really know which target you can kill shot or not. Use this macro and you will see which targets you can actually kill shot. Or weak aura, sorry. And the macro I combine this with, let me see, there it is. This one is just a mouse over macro. So if there are 10 enemies and I can't see really which one is under 20%, but I see some X's, I just mouse over the area and press my keybind for kill shot, and I will just kill shot it. I don't have to select the target. And this way, you can very easily integrate your kill shot into your rotation, and it will help you increase your DPS not tremendously, but it will help your DPS. So I will put the macro in the comments down below, and I will also put the link to the weak aura that I'm using, because you can download it from wago.io. So it's, to be clear, by the way, it's not my weak aura. I found it there and I'm using it. So credits to the creator of the macro. It's not me. But guys, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And if it's something that you liked, then consider leaving, well, but at this point, leave a like and subscribe, man. And also click the notification thingy. That way, if I go live and I stream on YouTube and you want to ask me questions, you want to talk to me, then you can, because you know when I'm there. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.